It comes at a great value with many strengths, but like any RTR, it is not without some improvement areas. Welcome to Picks and Hobbies. Today, I'd like to talk about the 5 best free mods for Axial SCX24 to improve its usability and performance. I strongly believe Axial hit a home run with Axial SCX24. It has to be one of the best mini RC truck out of the box. It comes at a great value with many strengths, but like any RTR, it is not without some improvement areas. I have a separate video where I talk about the 7 best upgrades and mods to make it into a great performer. I will post a link to that video at the top right corner, so go check it out if you have not yet seen it. In this video, I am going to focus on free mods, so let's get started. Number 1. Relocate the ESC Battery. This free mod is definitely one that needs to be done. For a performance-oriented rig, you want to get to 60-40 weight distribution. The stock SCX24 is fairly balanced in weight distribution out of the box. In the case of C10, the stock weighs in around 230 grams, just a tad over half a pound, and it has a weight distribution of 52% front and 48% rear. This mod focuses on adjusting the weight distribution around. The battery weighs in at 22.9 grams, while the ESC weighs in at 12.2 grams. Since the battery weighs more than the ESC, switching their location helps to give it a bit more forward weight bias. I also deleted the rear battery tray and mounted it between the chassis rails to further help with the weight distribution. I noticed that after the mod, it changed the weight distribution by 2% at 54 front, 46% rear. It doesn't sound much, but it will all add up to getting to the ideal 60-40 weight distribution. Number 2. Shock mod, adding suspension preload and green slime. The stock shocks are very bouncy, so many folks upgrade to new shocks right away. I wanted to see if I can mod the stock shocks by adding suspension preload and also add some green slime to make it less bouncy. You can use heavier grease like marine grease. For me, I went with the shock O-ring grease, also known as the green slime, which is typically used on rebuilding bigger RC shocks so that they don't leak. To my surprise, I've been quite happy with the changes, so at this point, I'll keep using the modded stock shocks. Number 3. Add weight to the front. With the relocation of the ESC and the battery, we were able to get to 54-46 weight distribution, but we're still short of reaching the 60-40. We need to add some additional weight to the front. There are several ways to add weight, and typically broken down to unsprung weight versus rotational weight. I prefer fixed weight over rotational weight, and thus I would recommend adding weight to the axles prior to adding any weights to the wheel. You can use lead weight on either side of the front axles, or even on top of the servo. And after that's done, then I would add weight to the wheels. You can add some lead weights, even solder or washers to the wheels. You will need roughly 30 grams of weight up to the front area to be close to the 60-40 weight distribution. Number 4. Steering mod. Remove the slop from the steering. I noticed that there's a lot of slop from the steering linkages, the tie rod as well as the steering link. You can remove the slop by using simple O-rings to the steering links. I used 3 size A006 O-rings that I bought from Harbor Freight. The steering link and the tie rod is held by one screw on each end. Loosen one at a time, then add the O-ring in between and put the screw back on. I also used it on steering horn. After the installation of the O-rings, there won't be any more slop from the steering. Now the servo is another matter, but that requires money to be spent. Number 5. Soften the tires. Although the stock tires and wheels are good looking scale wheels, most people consider them to be too hard and not so grippy. The C10 version of the stock tires are actually pretty decent, and probably the best tires of the 3 SCX24 models. But it doesn't compare with much softer tires like the RC 4-wheel drive rock grippers. But after it has been softened up with WD-40, by coating it with a brush and letting it soak in and dried, it will significantly improve the performance of the tires. Definitely give it a try. I hope that you found the 5 best free mods discussed today informative and useful. Please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell to be notified about future videos. Thanks for watching Bix on Hobbies.